we have been seeing very young cricketers as well for this IPL season. So whom, according to you, can take it to a different level, a young player?
Very interesting. Okay, so a few people have already kind of done well in the first game itself. Youngsters, someone like Ravi Bishnoi, they had a very good outing right at the start. Padikkal as well, the opening batsman in RCB, he was fantastic. There is a lot riding on someone like a Yashasvi Jaiswal. I mean, obviously didn't have a very pleasant first game, but I feel there's lots that you can expect from someone like him. I think these guys, even like Parag as well in the RR lineup, I think I'm sure he'll shine as well. Prem Garg as well. I think there are a lot of these under 19 boys who've come through. And like someone was saying, I was speaking to Hasi some days back, and he made a very valid point. This IPL is so different because there's no crowd, there's no pressure. So a lot of these youngsters, because that is not there, can actually play a lot more freely, which probably they wouldn't have had the noise and ambience being there all the more. So I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to come forward. And it's important because the youngsters, especially in this kind of IPL, when a lot of injuries can happen because a lot of cricketers haven't played for so long, youngsters will be able to then kind of be a lot more consistent and play longer. And I think this is that phase. This is a very crucial phase for a lot of them.
Talk about youngsters, and when we talk about the batting line and stuff, so we also have Shubman Gill batting as an opener, and then we have Rishabh Pant also, which is equally talented, and then the Delhi Capitals, the captain as well, Shreyas Iyer. All these youngsters are coming. So who, according to you, is the best one?
No, they're all very talented. They're all extremely. I mean, Shubman, of course. Shreyas, of course, slightly more senior of the two of the lot because of the of the time they've already spent in an Indian dressing room. Pant, relatively young, but also familiar with the way the Indian dressing room thinks. He's familiar with that as well. Shubman Gill, very, very new into the scheme of things. Obviously, he didn't have a nice outing. You can't, but there's a lot expected out of him. But if you had to just toss up these names, I mean, I do see that, someone like a Shreyas, I think this is the perfect platform. Because he's captaining the side and he's got an amazing team this year. And of course, last year as well, pretty much almost the same faces, but brilliant team this year to kind of lead. And I think he's the sort of guy for whom captaincy kind of makes him do much better. The fact that he has the responsibility of being a captain is making him bat a lot better, would make him bat a lot better. So I think this could be, he could be someone who'd get in a lot of the runs this season, but I also see Shubman doing very well. I have a lot of faith in Shubman Gill, so let's see. We'll see how he performs here. On today he's playing, so we'll see.
Bizarre moment of the IPL, very, very bad, which happened recently. Kohli dropping the catch and then Pandya getting out by a hit wicket, and that was really bad, very, very bad moments.
Yeah. No, Kohli is a very good fielder. He's an exceptional fielder. You don't really expect him to drop a lot of these catches, especially not the second one, which was quite. It was something that he would probably even like sleepwalk and catch, right? Happens. And also a lot of people were saying, the stadiums here is slightly different. It's more well lit. It's lit up a lot more than what a normal stadium is. You just have 4 towers, whatever it's that 6 pods. You don't have that many lights. So a lot of people aren't really used to the light in the face. I think that's also another reason. But yeah, it happens. It happens to the best, I think. Pandya, I think he himself was very surprised that he did that. I think it's also because you're not played for so long. So you are a little, you're still a little slow off the blocks in the first few games. So it could be that. So let's see. This is just the first week. A few more days and few more matches. I'm sure everyone is going to start hitting the right stride.
Yeah. And one more, the problem which I've been seeing, and maybe it is noticeable to you as well, that when in the toss time, people winning team who wins the toss always prefer to field first because of the reasons and stuff. So I don't think so that the chasing team goes well for that. So what's your take on that?
It's an interesting question for sure, Jani. I think that's a very good point that you make. I think we just so used to this thinking that dew factor is going to be huge because if you're not able to grip the ball, you're not going to be able to bowl that well exactly the way you want to. Which becomes a huge factor for a lot of these teams who are deciding to field first. But I think they might change their strategy because what people were expecting is that in a normal situation, that on such tracks, the ball would ideally come onto the bat far more easily, but that is not happening. And they're just realizing that. I think everywhere when you go, we think that the wicket will behave a certain way, and then we expect something else, and something else happens. Yeah. Same, I think a lot of people realized, in Sharjah also, obviously small grounds, you expect there'll be, you thought like they would score really big and that would happen, but Sanju Samson says, no, the wicket wasn't very easy. It wasn't coming onto the bat as you thought it would. You had to wait and, see and play carefully. So I think they're still kind of figuring out how to kind of crack this. When you win the toss, what do you do? Is it still a boon? A lot of people are still trying to figure it out. Maybe the trend will change, Jaanhavi. You don't know. Maybe in the next week, you'll probably find a lot of teams, winning the toss batting first. You never know. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. We'll see how they play out, because I still feel dew is a huge factor as well. That can, be a big hurdle.
So, ma'am, coming back to you, what you said, it just reminded me of Sanju Samson. He played an amazing knock, and what an amazing strike rate. And what's your say on that?
Oh, he's an exceptional batsman. He's one of my favorites. Known him from way before he even made it to the Indian team. I think the one thing about Sanju is he's amazing to watch. He's got the right. He's got all the shots in the book. It's fantastic. He's a great keeper as well. But I think consistency is something that he's always not had in the previous seasons. He's not been as consistent enough, and that's what I'm hoping will happen this time. Maybe the consistency would be something that he would have worked on, and something that will pay off, and that will make him really dangerous.
Yeah. And ma'am, what about the batting order you feel Rajasthan will going to have when Ben Stokes and Jos Buttler will return?
It's a very good question. Look, I would obviously see Jos Buttler opening. Okay. There's no other way. But if a Jos Buttler opens, would the Yashasvi then bat at the top? Because you want a Yashasvi to open as well. And the reason why Smith and Jaiswal work is because Smith is far more senior and he can then guide Yashasvi. So if that's the case, then okay, fine. You continue with Smith and Jaiswal, and then you possibly you stack up a Jos and a Ben Stokes in the middle order. That's a lot of firepower in the middle. Maybe they will do that actually. Maybe you will have the same Smith-Jaiswal opening combination.
Yeah.
Sam one down, and then you have Jos, probably then someone to buffer between Jos and Stokes. And Stokes needs to come down at 5 or 4 down. But that's exactly how it probably will be. I still probably see a Smith and Jaiswal opening, maybe. But a Jos Buttler then if he comes in, but then Smith goes down, that pushes Sanju Samson further down. Yeah. Don't know if that's the wise thing. But again, it all depends on how who ends up all depends on how they end up scoring in the next game, and then we'll probably see far more changes.
Yeah. And ma'am, we have also seen when it comes to batting order and stuff like these, we have also seen Robin Uthappa coming towards the middle order, and his entire career has gone into, opening, and now he is coming in the middle orders. So do you think that's relevant?
Well, it's unfortunate. Someone like him, I know in KKR, I think he probably enjoyed the best stint opening with, with GZ for the brief time. And then, of course, he had a few other partners. But the only way he can probably open is if Yashasvi fails many times. And if they feel that, okay, let's not go with a youngster. I think that's the only time they would do that. But will they do that? Rajasthan is, I think, that kind of franchise that loves pushing youngsters, that loves giving chance to youngsters constantly. So the only way Uthappa might open is if they do not at all go for someone like a Jaiswal. Yeah. I think that's the only way that he opened. But I think he's fine in the middle order as well. I think he'd enjoy that position as well, to create a momentum, to create some sort of an impact lower down the order. I think he'd love that too. So it all comes down to how the thinking that RR has when it comes to the kind of batting lineup they want.
And when we talk about Delhi, we cannot forget the super over which we had, and where Rabada played an amazing spell, and Rahul coming, going then for the wicket, Maxwell coming, and then going again for a wicket. So Rabada played an amazing spell. So what's your take on that? The super over and the way he bowled.
Rabada is always like, I always tell that every a team always will be a big threat if they have that one bowler who is that threatening bowler, either in terms of pace or in terms of just how clever he is in terms of how he, uses his skills. In that regard, I think Rabada is that for Delhi. Rabada is that for the side, and it's like how Bumrah is for Mumbai or Jafar Archer is for Rajasthan. I think they have that in him clearly. There is no two ways about it. I think he's one of their best bets, especially at the death, and he showed that. And he's done it before. He's done it before for Delhi, and he showed that this time as well. So. Unfortunate that it went to the super over because of a few umpiring errors, but it happens. I think that happens in the game. It happens. I think that was a game Kings 11 should have won. Ideally, shouldn't have gone to the super over, but
it was
Rabada,
it was very unfortunate for the Punjab team, actually.
Very unfortunate, but even despite that, I think they had the match back. Yeah, but kudos to Delhi to hang in there and to just play the way they did. And Rabada he's a fantastic guy. He's a fantastic person. He's an incredible bowler, and that was just another example of how good he is.
So, ma'am, have you ever had a fangirl moment on the field or while interacting with someone looking at your favorite cricketer?
Unfortunately, no. I think right from the time I think the one thing I told myself when I got into this field is because it's very, it's a lot of people end up seeing women as someone who aren't as good as men when it comes to reporting sports.
Yes.
So I think I told myself that I will not behave like a fan. I mean, yes, I am a fan of the sport. I am a fan of the sport. I'm a huge lover of the sport. But I think it was never a conscious decision. It was a very subconscious thing. Like I never take autographs. I have probably taken just one photograph with a cricketer all my life, and that's MS. And that happened after they won the 2018 IPL. And I think when he said goodbye, I think the twice that I took a photo with him, and the first time was when I think he stepped down from being captain and he was leading the India A side for the last time in Mumbai. That was the only time, and we were doing a lot of shoots after that with him and a few others. We were all there, so it happened. It was in the moment. So and that was the only time, and that was because of the, when it's not just because of who he is, it's because of the relationship you share.
Yes.
When you know a person really well, it's more of, okay, someone who's a friend who's, done something for the sport. I think it becomes that. So no, I've told myself I'm not going to take any autographs. I'm not going to take any photographs because that's not what I mean. They're just another person for me. And the more I start seeing them as just another cricketer or just another tennis player, or just another sports person, I will do my job far more professionally than if I don't.
Yeah. So it's better to go for a professional approach rather than going for a fan approach.
No, I mean, I see it's two ways of looking at it. A lot of people think that, I will probably do a better job if I am more passionate about it or if I am a fan. I think different people see it differently. For me, I feel that that's not something that is what I would do. That's not something that I consciously do. So, and it works for me. So I guess it's just, it maybe differs for different people. But I would honestly say that, for a woman, I think it's nicer if you don't do that, because I think there's so much already that they make it difficult for us. So it might as well be a little more professional.
So, ma'am, if you get a chance to turn out to be any cricketer and play his role on the field, then what would it be?
This is a very nice question. Oh God. This is so difficult, I think I have to say AB de Villiers.
AB de Villiers.
He's just so incredible. Like what he's done. I mean, I know it's... Yeah, AB de Villiers. Yeah. Awesome. Or if I have to go completely opposite, AB de Villiers, because of, the impossible kind of shot making that he has. He can just play any kind of shot anyway against any delivery.
Yeah.
But if I have to go completely to the opposite, I feel I'm not a very patient person. I think I like everything to happen very quickly. So if I have to try and be someone who's a little patient, then I would love to be in Dravid's shoes. Okay. He can patiently sit there and just keep blocking the ball and just score after maybe 10 overs. So that would be a challenge for me, and I would love to do that as well. So I think, and he's an incredible ambassador of the sport. So maybe Dravid would be the other option.
Yeah, the way he trains for the under-19 team and everything.
Yeah, apparently from whatever I hear, he's great to have around. He's a good mentor. So yeah.